How's it going? My name is Caleb, and today I want to talk about how, depression doesn't have to be looked at as a bad thing. It can be looked at as a good thing, and there's good, like, outcomes of it. And I know that sounds crazy because it's like, dude, I'm sitting here miserable, like, wishing and wondering what it was like to feel normal, or smell stuff, or see color the normal way, or feel, emotions, because, like, maybe you feel numb, maybe you feel like it's never going to go away, and I promise you it does. And I've been dealing with it for a while, and I still have it. And I've accepted if I'm going to have it forever, I won't let it ruin my life. I will find good ways of doing that. And so I want to talk about how depression can be looked at as a good thing. And so I'm going to start off with it can give you an understanding of yourself really well. Like, it forces you to work on yourself. Depression isn't just going to go away by you talking to your friends, and you have to do something about it. And that's something I've learned the hard way, because I used to go to friends and I used to complain and cry and whatever it was to my friends and do nothing about it. They would sit there, listen, but I still felt that emptiness, and I still felt that bad feeling. And so what I've learned is finding your hobbies, finding whatever it is, and learn yourself. Learn what you love. What makes you happy? For me, I learned that cars makes me happy, hanging out with friends, doing the stuff I love most, getting outside. Getting outside is so important. Do not keep yourself in the house. And I know it can be hard to leave the house, or it can, if you have anxiety stuff, it's hard to be out in public, whatever it is. But with the anxiety part, I've learned for myself that when I put myself out there and I put myself in uncomfortable situations, it actually, at first, you get that heart palpitation and you get uncomfortable and you're like, I just want to get out of this situation I'm feeling, right? In the end, if you can get past that feeling, that heart palpitation, your heart eventually settles, and then you feel good. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you're feeling insecure, like, oh, how do I look? How do I, like, I feel like I, like, look off and people are looking at me weird, or whatever it is. Putting yourself out in uncomfortable situations does wonders. And it's so hard. If you walk out of the house and you're like, nope, I can't do it. You walked out of the house, you made a step closer to doing better. And that's what it does. If you have to take 2 steps next time, 3 steps every single day, if you just do a little bit, it will, I promise you, it will get better with whatever it is. Get outside. It's so amazing. It feels so great. When I'm not in nature for like a day or two during the week, I kind of go crazy, and I'm like, I need to get outside. And that's the thing. Like, just figure out what is best for you. If you're not an outside person, you don't want to go outside, and you don't care for hikes or any of that, you don't have to do that. That's a certain person kind of thing. But for myself, I've learned that that's something that really helps me. And I feel like, we're humans. That's part of our nature, is to be connected to outside. Get grounded. Being grounded is huge. But to get to that point, being able to understand yourself and learn yourself is so huge. Self-work, do something physical, everything will really, really feel better when you do so. And being able to just understand your emotions and understand, I'm feeling sad right now, and being able to learn, like, not right away. If you don't know how to control your emotions when being sad, that's okay. You're going to have days like that and not know what to do with it. But every single day, if you dissect, why do I feel sad? You're going to realize, oh, okay, I need to do this, or I need to drink water, or I need to do something to distract myself, or whatever it is. Find ways to understand why you feel that way and what causes it, and how to, don't dumb it down, don't shy it away or push it away, but find ways to deal with it. Come to terms. I've learned that writing and talking on videos like this helps me a lot. Even though this is my first video, I find that stuff like that, just like talking to yourself, it's not stupid, it's not crazy. You figure out the root issue of what you're feeling when you're emotional or something like that. Just understanding yourself and knowing what really affects you. So that's my point to this all, of a good outcome to look at this, is you get to learn yourself. With this hard, gut-wrenching thing called depression, it doesn't have to be horrible. You get to learn yourself. It's character building. I know everyone says that, but it's so true. It is character building. I used to make fun of kids when I was really young for being depressed. I was like, oh, get out of bed, like, just do this, like, you're not depressed, you're just get some sleep, whatever it is. And I was told that too, like, depression's bullcrap. But then it happened to me, and I got the biggest understanding of that. And that's my second reason is a good thing to look at with depression. You can connect with people on a human level so much deeper, because you understand what it's like to go through pain, what it's like to not want to get out of bed, what it's like to just feel off. You find yourself every day probably being like, dang, I wonder, like, that person seems really happy, like I would love to just have no issues, be in great health, and not have worries about depression and stuff like that. But my point to that is that depression really can connect you with other human beings very, very well. You can relate with people and tell them, hey, like, I've been through this before, you're not alone, whatever it is. Like, I learned with myself that after I kind of got a great understanding of depression and why I feel certain ways, I was able to help people. People started to come to me about, like, versus like me coming after them and being like, oh my gosh, like, you're faking that, this and that. Now it's the opposite, where people come to me to be like, hey, I'm going through this, how do I deal with this? And because I've gone through all this stuff, I've been able to give the tools to other people that I've learned from myself. And it's helped a lot of other people, and it helps myself to know I can be able to help people. And that's what I've learned, is like doing a good deed a day really helps the mental a lot. And once you can establish those connections with other people on a deeper level, you build trust, you build comfortability, and just overall, just, a great friendship. You know what I mean? Like with my friends, first friends I met in the beginning, like, oh yeah, we're all cool, we're friends. And then when you can connect on a deep level like that, going through depression and them having an understanding of it, you having an understanding with it, and you can collaborate and, talk about life, whatever it is, like, you get so close to each other, you love each other, you this and that, like, it just builds such a great human connection. And that's why I find it as a good thing to look at. Like, depression doesn't have to be horrible, it doesn't have to be looked at as a bad thing. It makes you more human, you know what I mean? And to get on to the next thing, I have a list here because I am very bad with memory. That's the other great thing with depression sometimes, is it makes your brain foggy and you can't think straight. You can't, whatever it is. Another thing is, it gives you a great understanding of life. I know I just talked about human connection and how it can give you a great understanding of other humans on the world, but it also gives you a great understanding on life and how it works. I would rather suffer and feel all this sadness than drown myself with pills and whatever it is, because I've tried all that and it just made things worse. I didn't deal with it and it just set it aside. And so what I learned was, I love dealing with it. It's a human emotion we got brought on. Nothing's bad. Anger is not bad. Sadness is not bad. Every emotion is not bad. It's how we deal with it. If you become too angry, it can be a bad thing. If you become too sad, it can be a bad thing. But it's all about balance. You know what I mean? So, like, emotions are nothing to, hide away or whatever it is. Show how you feel, but learn how to do it in a healthy way. It doesn't always have to be, keep your emotions shut. There's that whole stigma of, keep stuff to yourself, whatever it is. Like, do what you want, feel those emotions. Don't shy them away. If you find that maybe drinking or smoking is a way of coping with that, and you realize, oh, I'm not really dealing with it. Every time I'm tired after work or whatever it is, I tend to go to a beer. I don't sit down and dissect my day and realize, oh wow, like, I'm using this to cope with it, and if that's what it is, maybe sit down, like, deal with it, maybe write down, journal, and be like, okay, this is my day, this was the bads, this was the goods, and then afterwards, have a drink. But I think it's good, like, if you have a good understanding of, a good balance of, oh, I can drink and deal with my stuff, like, that's great. Don't let it become a bad thing. But being sober is also really good for depression. I've learned that. I'm not sober now, but I learned when I was. It did help me. It made me think clearer, because I realized that when I was away from all that stuff, I wasn't dealing with my issues and I was shying it aside, and eventually the cup became full and it overflowed. But yeah, like, to my point of, it gives you a better understanding of life. Like, you look on, someone, if someone's unhappy, you learn, oh, okay, I learned when I was depressed or sad or down, I became angry, I became irritable, whatever it is. Like, I never judge someone for their anger or how they act, because I understand that something's going on deeper that, they might not say or put out in front of them with a sign on their head saying, I'm pissed, I'm depressed, this is going on. It's hard. But to be able to have that understanding of human beings, it really opens and it makes you feel relieved, because we live in a world of time where everyone's like, we are pretty angry. We're mad at our phones, we're mad at what we see on our phones, we're mad at like life, we're mad at our decisions we've made. Just to be able to understand that is so powerful. And if you can, and you can, look at the world, not judge people, whatever it is, and just understand that we're all trying our best, I truly believe that everyone is giving it their 100%. It's just that 100% slowly growing and growing and growing, because, every day, you're probably trying your best. I know you are. Like, everyone is. If you're tired, you're this and that, you're alive. You woke up, you did that, you're doing what you need to do. I truly believe people give their 100% all the time, because I know that every day, like, I can't just wake up in the morning and be the best person I want to be. It takes time, and that's okay. I've came to terms with that. But yeah, just like having a great understanding of life, like, it's such a great tool. And sometimes you carry the weight of that, because then you learn, oh my gosh, like, you kind of feel the weight of people's sadness. Sometimes it can suck and it can be a little too much. But yeah, that's my into that. My other thing that I wanted to talk about was sadness can be turned into something creative. A lot of the sad, good music you hear, people were feeling emotional. Like, music is such a great tool for emotions. If you're sad, and you don't know how to play an instrument, learn how to play one. You're not going to be good the first time you pick up a guitar or whatever it is, but, time over time, like, finding ways of, whether it's art, you're sad, you make a drawing that makes you, like, based off of your emotions, whatever it is, do it. Like, it's such a great way. Like, I feel like emotions and depression really brings out an emotional creativity kind of thing, like, maybe you're listening to music, you're bobbing your head, and you kind of start daydreaming, and you're thinking, like, really creative thoughts. And whether you're sad and it's a creative way of expressing that sadness, I feel like depression really brings out a great creative, like, a lot of art, and some of the best art ever is because of someone that was depressed, or whatever it is, songs, all that, because they were going through something and they felt emotional in a certain way. And that's why there's so much emotion to songs or whatever it is. And that's why I find that depression can be good in that sense of things. It really can bring out creativity. And sometimes it's probably really hard to even put that creativity out, because your mind isn't thinking. And you have that brain thought fog, and you're like, I can't think of, like, what I want to draw, or I can't think of, how to play this guitar, whatever it is. It's okay. You're going to have off days. You're going to have on days. Not every single day you're going to be able to be creative and use that. But, I don't know. Depression doesn't have to be horrible. And if you can look at it in a good way, it really, really can change your life. And it can really change your perspective on it. And I've learned that accepting it, really can make things a lot easier, like, just learn to accept it. And this moment you learn to accept it, you get this weight off your shoulder, and you feel a lot of ease, and everything gets so much better. I don't want to keep the video too long, but I just want to throw out a short little thing out there that, depression doesn't have to be horrible. It doesn't have to be this and that. It can be something good. It doesn't have to be bad. There's good ways of looking at it, and putting that into practice. Like I said, starting off, work on yourself, learn what you love most, and that is such a great thing. Like, you're gonna learn yourself, and it's so good. Like, just learn to, fend for yourself. You can't rely on other people to help you or whatever it is. They're great tools to be able to help, but they're not going to cure your depression. But just to be able to, like, if you've already, kind of gathered that and realized that, like, that's awesome, like, depression makes you kind of smarter. Even though you might not feel smarter, because you might feel slowed down or whatever it is, it really can drive you to become a better person. And that's my other point to it, is, like, depression can make you a good person if you turn it into a good tool. I'm gonna end the video here. I know I probably left out some stuff that I wanted to think about, but I figured it'd be a good starting video to what I'm doing. You know, subscribe if you feel maybe some of my advice could have helped you. I have plenty of videos that I want to make in the future of other tools and other stuff to deal with depression. I want to talk about just life in general, and I want to give, you know, young men, even women, whatever it is, tools, you know, to become a better person. But yeah, I'm gonna end it off here. Thank you.